Thank you for being here. My name is Dion. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If this is your first time, welcome. This is another relationship video. This is how they are versus they don't care. And it was prompted by a friend of mine. He had some complaints about his relationship. And he would say, oh, when I tell her this, and then it gets better, and then it goes back to how it was, and then I bring it up again, and then it gets better, and then it goes back to how it was, and I don't understand. I think she doesn't care, and I'm just tired of having the same conversation. And I told him, I said, well, if she does make changes, then that's proof that she cares. Well, but then it just goes back to how it was. And I said, well, that's because that's how she is, period. And so, and the article is a lot longer than what I'm going to say in this video, but I just want to say, while I have your attention, that if you have a conversation with someone, you tell them something that you may be displeased with or something that you would like to be a little different. If they make a change, if they are attempting to make a change, give them positive reinforcement. Oh, wow, you know, I remember saying such and such and you really did it and I really enjoyed that. Give them that positive reinforcement. It lets them know that you are aware that they are at least trying to make the change that you said you would like to see. That shows that they care. Over time, if things go back to how they were, that's just how that person is. It takes a lot of thought, a lot of conscious thought, to change who you are as a person. And so if you say, oh, well, I wish you would cook steak more often, I might start cooking steak once or twice a week, but after a few months, I might stop cooking steak because I'm just not a steak person, which I really am. I'm just using this as an example. And so to say, oh my gosh, every 4 or 5 months, I have to talk to her about, you know, I wish she would cook steak more, and then she will, and then after a few months, she'll stop. If the person makes a change, if they even attempt to make a change, like say she goes and buys the steaks, but then she just doesn't cook it. Or she'll be like, hey, why don't you cook dinner? I bought steaks and I did season them. Can you cook them? Because you cook them better than me. That's still them doing something along the lines of what you wanted them to do. Appreciate the change that you see someone trying to make versus having the mindset of, why do I need to keep saying the same thing every 5, 6, or 7 months? That's just how they are. They're trying to make a change because they care. They're trying to make a change because they love you. They're trying to make a change because they want you to be happy and fulfilled. At the same time, though, they are who they are. If it's something that's a complete deal breaker, that's something you would know sooner rather than later. And you can decide, okay, is this really important that she doesn't want to cook steak twice a week? You know, do I need to just dump her and be with somebody else? Or vice versa. Because I know women who don't cook and the men do. I would love a man like that. Anyway, appreciate people for who they are. If it's not a deal breaker, then just make it work. Or you buy the steak and say, hey, I season this, can you cook steak for dinner? I mean, just, you know, find a balance and find where you can compromise to where you don't feel so disgruntled or you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta have this conversation again. Or you get to the point where you don't want to have that conversation at all. And I see that happen a lot. And usually it's with sexual things in a relationship that they're not happy with. Or they want to try new things and their partner doesn't. Or the partner tries the new thing, but their heart isn't in it. And so the person complains. I'm like, well, at least they tried. Like, give them some credit for trying. You know what I mean? Give people credit. If it's someone you love and they say you love me and you're in a, well, they say they love you, and you two are in a committed relationship, give them credit. Accept them for who they are and recognize and accept when they are doing something just because you would like them to. You know what I mean? And so, and I also hear, oh, well, I told him I wanted him to do this and he did it, but his heart wasn't in it. He didn't have to do it at all. And I get it. You want people to enjoy the things that they do for you, even if it's because you asked them to do it for you. But recognize that they are trying. And if it's that distressing to you, for you to not want to openly communicate it again ever, or if it's going to cause you to think of infidelity or any of that type stuff, then you may want to rethink if you want to stay with that person. Because if they're making a conscious effort to please you, The least you can do is be honest and not sneak and cheat and lie. If you care about that person as much as it seems like they care about you because they are trying, then just make it work. Have that conversation every 4, 5, 6, or 7 months, because you know when you do, it's going to get better. Even if it's for a few months, you know when you have that conversation, it's going to get better. So have the conversation. And when it gets better, be happy about it. Be happy that they're trying for you. Don't be so selfish as to be like, oh, well, they just don't care. They do. So that's really all this video is about, is that people are who they are. And if they're attempting to make a change for you, that's proof that they care about you. Accept it. And I'm sorry if it seemed like I was like coming at y'all. I just hear this quite often, and it's just, and maybe that's the clinician in me, where it just bothers me when people don't understand that people really do care about you. Whether they do everything the way you want them to or not, there are people in your life, especially if they're your significant other, they really care about you. And so for it to be glossed over like, I'm tired of having the same conversation, well, it's just a conversation, y'all. Just have a conversation. That's all. Make it work. Or just be honest and leave and say it's a deal breaker and just leave. But don't be unfaithful to your partner. That's it for this video. Thank you for listening, and let me know your thoughts below. And that's it.